How to play a record, a dying art these days in our modern society of digital everything. So here's the easy to understand instructions on how to play a record. I have here what we call an album, LP, long player, and it's oh dear, how embarrassing, how did that get here? That must have been my friends. Well, I'll just place that to one side. So as I said, we have an album, a long player. This is what I normally play, of course. I wouldn't play Mr. Mills, obviously. Yeah, so there you are. Lovely artwork by Mr. Jackson Pollock. And so the first thing you do is you remove the record from what we call the sleeve, or the outer sleeve. And this reveals the inner sleeve. More artwork and some nice photographs of the pop group. So you remove the record from the inner sleeve. A bit hard with my slightly deformed hand. You give it a quick rub. It's always nice to give it a quick rub, isn't it? And then you choose which side, because records have sides. So you choose which side you want to play. I'm going to go for what they call here the other side. So we turn it over. And of course you have to press on button. On comes some pretty lights. Lift up the lid. Place the record on what is known as the turntable. You press that button, the arm comes up. That's where the needle is. The needle, you've got the needle on the record, as you used to say in sampling songs. You then lower the needle onto the record, like this, and then you move it on a bit because it's got a very slow introduction, this track. Here's a bit of a rock classic. But we're not here to listen to whole tracks. This is how to play a record, and that's how to play a record. When it's finished, you lift it up, remove it, put it back in the sleeve. So that's an album. So now we move on to singles. Albums play at 33 RPM, that's revolutions per minute. Singles play at 45 RPM, which is faster. So you have to change that button there to make it play at 45 RPM. Now some singles were like this one, the Banana Splits by the Dickies. And in the heyday of New Wave, they were on coloured vinyl. Very snazzy, eh? So you notice Banana Splits, yellow banana? So clever, these chaps. That's by the Dickies. Then there's political records, and very topical for this time of year. God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols. But you also had what were known as EPs. Some of them were very fancy indeed. This one was actually a double EP. 2 records from the film The Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, complete with a little notebook as well. Very fancy. They had, usually EPs had 2 or 3 tracks per side, or some of them might have had less than that, but anyway, we'll try the Banana Splits by the Dickies. Again, you place it on the turntable. The arm is already raised. You move it across. Can you see me doing that? Move it across, and then you lower it, and it's already changed to 45 RPM, and off we go. single. That was actually a hit record, in case you were wondering. Actually a hit record in 1979. Place it back in the little picture sleeve, so they were known. There were also picture discs. Some vinyl did have pictures actually in the vinyl, but I don't think I have any of those. I do have lots of coloured vinyl though. So there you are, that's singles, EPs and LPs or albums. That is the end of the instructions on how to play a record.